Hey guys, this is the Turtle Girl. Welcome back to the channel. Today we will be looking at the 75-gallon Eastern painted turtle tank. So this is the tank that has been mentioned a few times before. This is Nemo, the Eastern painted turtle's tank, and like I said, this is 75 gallons, so we'll start with the tank. This tank is kind of an unusual size. It is 36 long by 24 deep by 24 high. I got this from a guy off of Craigslist, and I'm not quite sure where he got this tank from. It has a custom built stand on it, and that's been holding it nice. And yeah, but it fits really good in this corner, so I like that. That's actually the reason I found this tank, and I chose this tank over another tank, was because it actually fit this corner, because I wanted a bigger size tank for Nemo. But they were like the 55 gallons and the 75 gallons that are normal size, they're all 4 feet long, and I couldn't fit that in my corner. So I needed a tank that was 36 inches, but I didn't want to go with something like a 40 breeder, because that just seemed really too small from what I was already in, because the tank upstairs, that was the 29 gallon, that was what Nemo used to be in, and I felt like it wouldn't even be worth it if I just went to a 40 breeder. So I just wanted to really just go for it all, and I was really lucky to find this tank, and I really like actually the size. It has a lot of room front to back and a lot of surface area, so plenty of room for Nemo to swim around. So that's the tank. And then for filtration on this tank, we have a Cascade Penplax 1000 canister filter. So that is rated for 100 gallons, and it does 265 gallons of water per hour at the full flow rate. And so that's on full flow right now. And we have the intake in the corner and the spray bar, you can see. And that's been keeping the water pretty clean. I've been doing water changes also about once a month, just because turtles can be pretty messy, so I just want that extra security of keeping the water clean. For heating, we have a 300 watt heater, and I still need to get a heater guard for that because turtles have been known to break them. I'm not super worried about it, but it could happen, so I want to get that as a precaution. And for lighting on here, we have the LED light strip, and I think this is I think it's called the Aquarium Opti Bright LED, and that has both white, red, and blue LEDs, and I think it's kind of giving a little bit too much lighting, because if you haven't noticed, there's quite a bit of brown algae in this tank. And then if you notice this, that is just an oil film on the top of the water, and that is actually because the pellets I feed in tank for the cichlids and the turtle have a bit of I think it's protein or something in them that causes the oil to form. So it kind of makes that unsightly oil film. It's not dangerous, but I do want to make a DIY skimmer. I'm not sure what the proper term for it is, but what it does is it basically just takes everything at the surface of the water and it runs it through a power head filter, and then it shoots it back out, and then it can just keep the surface clean. If you guys have any suggestions on how to deal with that, please leave them below. I'd really appreciate that. And then we have the above tank basking area. That's like the DIY ones I make, and that basking area is held into the wall with some L brackets at the bottom, and then a bracket at the top, and then it has a screw to make sure it can't move side to side, and this makes sure it can't fall forward. Also has the same suspension wires, and also some tiles in there to keep the basking area dry, and those work pretty good with the halogen basking lamp and the UVB bulb that is up there. For decorations, this tank, it's super simple. We just have granite from a gravel yard. For the substrate in this tank, I use this black diamond blasting sand, like what I use in the betta tank, and I think this looks really nice, and because I do have to use a lot of it for a bigger tank like this, I find it's a really good alternative. And so I really like the black diamond blasting sand. And nothing special really. I do want to get some Vallisneria plants because I have some brown algae, brown diatom algae, and I also am starting to get some, I think it's like called blackbeard algae or something like that. It's kind of like hairy and slimy like that. And I think that getting some plants can really help out with using up the nutrients so I won't have to deal with algae. And I mean, it's not really like a problem, but it just can be an aesthetic thing, but I don't really like the look of algae. So I'm trying to find a way to get some plants to get rid of that. So I want to get some Vallisneria plants also because I do like these rocks. None of them go very high. And I want some more decorations that have more height in the tank. And I heard that Val can grow pretty tall, so I think that would be a nice addition. Plus, it would take out some of the nutrients in the water. So I'm really hoping I can get some Vallisneria. And if you have any other plant suggestions, leave those below as well. And yeah, so that's pretty much it of the tank itself and the equipment. And then in the tank, we of course have Nemo. And Nemo is my eastern painted turtle. He is 11 years old, and I've had him for 2 years. And actually, if you look at his shell, you might notice that it's kind of uneven, kind of rough in some spots. And that's because before I adopted him, and I adopted him from the Mid-Atlantic Turtle and Tortoise Society, I'll leave a link to them below in the description. Be sure to check them out. They're a really awesome organization for adopting out turtles and tortoises. And they do ship, actually, so you should check them out definitely if you're looking at adding a new turtle friend to your home. So be sure to check them out. Link is in the description. Anyway, back to the story. So before he was turned into MATS, which stands for the Mid-Atlantic Turtle and Tortoise Society, MATTS, he was actually housed in like a really small, not ideal environment. I think it was like a 40-gallon breeder tank with another red-eared slider, and they actually fought each other. So they actually damaged each other really, really badly. That's how we got those injuries. He's now super healthy. Matt's did a really good job of rehabilitating him. And now he's just got those little rough parts, and he's got a really cool story. But that's an example I like to use to tell people that's why you shouldn't keep two turtles together, especially in a smaller tank, just because there is that really high risk of them fighting. It's kind of going off on a tangent, but just a cool little story about Nemo. I've had Nemo personally for about, I think, coming up on 2.5 years now, and he is super friendly. He loves to eat and he loves to beg, and he is just super funny sometimes. When I take him out to go basking outside, sometimes he'll just sit there and kind of look at me like, "Mom, what the heck? Why did you take me out of my tank?" And he actually moves pretty fast. It's kind of interesting when I take him out to bask. He can move super fast. Like if I look away for 20 seconds, he could be on the other side of the yard. So keep an eye on your turtles when you take them outside. And then also in this tank we have the Convict Cichlids. You can see that big black one is kind of really mean. And if you did pay attention in other videos, you might have seen that this tank used to have an egg crate barrier in it. And that was because I had both male and female convicts in this tank. And true to their nature, they did breed. So they got super duper aggressive and protective of the eggs in the fry. And so I did have to separate them, but then another pair paired off on the other side, and so I just took out all the females, and now all the females are in Hoku's tank upstairs. So that's what happened there. Now we have only males. But I don't know, like, I like fish in the tank, but then these convicts are just really kind of aggressive. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about those. I may or may not keep them, but I do like fish in the tank, so I think I will end up keeping them, and maybe just trying to break up that aggression by moving rocks around and breaking up territory and stuff. And then, so that's pretty much it about the convicts. If you have any other suggestions about fish you think I could try, I'd really like those. I think if I add the Vallisneria plants, that would provide some more hiding spots for them, and so I could possibly find a way to get some maybe tetras or something in there, because Nemo, when I first did tetras in the 29 gallon, he did eat those, so it was kind of sad. Like, I put in 10 neon tetras and Nemo just ate them all within, I want to say over a course of 2 months. He kind of just picked on them and then they just all got eaten up, and that was kind of sad. And I really want them to be kind of like a long-term survival thing. Like, really, that's not exactly doable in a turtle tank. Anything you put in a turtle tank, you should assume that it would probably become food. But I mean, I would like it to survive like longer than a year. But I think if I add some more hiding spots, that would be doable. And also because this is a bigger tank, so more room for them to swim around and hide. So I'm thinking about doing tetras or maybe danios. If you have any other suggestions, leave those down below. And that is pretty much it for this tank. I mean, there's not much to see. Well, there's Nemo. Nemo's awesome, but I think that I really want to get some more fish and plants in here, and then it'll be more fun, and hopefully I will do an update video if and when that happens. And yeah, so this is the tank. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or suggestions, comment those below. And if you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe. I am putting out new videos every Friday, so I will see you guys next week, and have an awesome day.